And you can see my handsome young guest, who we'll introduce you to in just a second. Two people qualified for the Ward 3 seat on the Villa Rica City Council when that seat was made vacant, with Leslie McPherson deciding to run for mayor. And that race will be on the November 7th ballot, along with all the other municipal races. Two options for voters in that ward, Ward 3, are Stephanie Warmoth. She is a photographer, and Phil Butch. He is a chiropractor, and Butch is our guest on this morning's WLBB Community Voice. I have reached out to Stephanie, left a nice lengthy message, and tried to be real nice and explained that I'm legit and everything, but she hasn't called us back. So hopefully we will get her on the program, and maybe me just giving her a shout out this morning that'll encourage one of her friends to get back to us so we can get her on the program as well. But this morning, our guest is Philip Butch. Sir, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
This is fantastic.
And thank you for making the way down here this morning and being part of the program. First of all, just tell us about yourself. Give us your background, your family, your favorite colors, your favorite song.
Oh, there's a lot. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, Youngstown more specifically. If you want to go more specific than that, Cortland, Ohio, Northeast region. I played a lot of sports growing up. I played 4 years at Slippery Rock University in Pennsylvania. Yeah. And then I actually graduated from there with an exercise science degree. Went on to play 2 years of professional baseball. The independent level, which is the lowest tier of professional baseball. It's where a lot of guys who get released from affiliated.
Is it like associated with the Cape Cod League? Or
no, that's collegiate.
Okay.
The Cape Cod is the collegiate league. I played for the Slippery Rock Sliders in 2007, and then in 2008 I played for the Washington Wild Things, which is right on the border of that West Virginia line. After that, I went to chiropractic school at Life University in Marietta, and that's when I really fell in love with the Georgia environment. The weather, the people really, really impressed me and took me in. Graduated in 2012 from Life University as a chiropractor. Moved back home from 2012 to 2015 to work with my father, who is a chiropractor. He's been doing it for 43, 44 years. He's still doing it.
There's the source of that interest then.
Yeah, he was really pushing me away from chiropractic for a long time. I'm not sure why, but I went to Slippery Rock because they had a doctor of physical therapy program, and I was initially going to be a physical therapist. That was the whole reason for the push to Slippery Rock. I had a couple scholarships to some bigger schools, and I just decided to take the academic route instead and to play baseball at a pretty solid Division II school. And anyway, moving on there, worked with my dad for 3 years. Funny story behind that, asked him for a raise in 2014. After 2 years on the job, he said no. So long story short, I packed my bags to Atlanta and moved and looked for some offices that were for sale in the Atlanta area because I just loved that area so much from going to school in the Marietta area. And found one for sale in Villa Rica, Georgia in November of 2014. Which is
so you've been here
crazy,
just about a decade.
Pretty crazy to think about.
What you live in Ward 3, obviously, because you got to live in there. What's your neighborhood? What's your street?
North Avenue.
Yeah,
it's right by the hospital.
Yeah, and how familiar are you with your ward as far as the boundaries?
Pretty familiar. It goes all the way out to past Bankhead Highway to Van Wert, south and north. There's a couple neighborhoods up there, and that's west. My office is actually in Ward 3, I believe, which is kind of crazy. So my house and my office are both in the same ward, which is pretty cool to say. It goes to Reed Plantation. I know that's a neighborhood that's very popular off of 101, if people are familiar with that area. And then it goes all the way to one neighborhood in the Mirror Lake area. I think it's called Chadwick Place. And the downtown area is part of the ward, and that's really why I took a big interest in running for city council. I think the downtown area has so much potential for growth, but controlled growth. I think the growth that's going on now, growth is growth. No, you can't please everybody. And with Villa Rica being one of the last cities driving distance to the city of Atlanta that hasn't been overgrown, It was just a matter of time before people understood where Villa Rica was and how easy of a drive it is into Atlanta from like I said, one of the only cities in the area that's driving distance to Atlanta.
Is the growth one of the biggest concerns for residents? I mean, the ones you've talked to over the last month
I
or
think
so?
the word everybody is using is infrastructure. Infrastructure. Like, we haven't taken... But it's hard to grow and take care of the infrastructure. I would have liked to see, like everybody else would like to see, maybe the roadways taken care of first.
And they're starting to do that. Like Pumpkintown Road, they've got a plan on that.
To put in creative ways to help with the flow of traffic through town. Even since I've been here since 2000, I moved here. My first day in practice was May 4th, 2015. And I knew that week that this town had potential to just blow up one day. And I think we're finally seeing that.
Could you set up a chiropractor practice in just any city at all? I mean, is that in demand? Or, I mean, do you have to, you got to be a 15,000 person city and have access to other close cities? I mean, you keep busy?
Me personally?
Yeah, as professional.
I do now.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, at first it was, if you would see... Like any small business, it takes 5, 6, 7 years to really get established and start, quote unquote, making money. It's not easy. You have to mold to what people want. But you can open up in any city you want. I mean, you have to look to see how many chiropractors are in the area if you want to open up. But I was never afraid of competition. I never have been. Growing up as an athlete, and if you do a good job, if you're affordable, and you don't have to love what you do, but I really think you have to like what you do, and you have to enjoy it. I think you can succeed at anything.
Philip Butch is our guest on this morning's Community Voice program, one of two candidates running for that Ward 3 City Council seat that was made vacant when Leslie McPherson resigned in order to run for mayor. She's one of 4 people running for mayor in the City of Gold. Would you have would you have sought this seat? Would you have challenged McPherson next year or the year after if she was still on there? Or did you just see this, well, it's open, there's not an incumbent, so now I'll do it, now's a good time?
I don't know. I don't know. Once Leslie McPherson gave up her councilwoman seat to run for mayor, I was actually approached by 6 or 7 different people in the Villa Rica area.
So you didn't have an inkling, you weren't thinking that...
No, I really wasn't. Politics for me, I never thought would work, just because I guess a straight shooter. There's no agenda with me. I want what's best for everybody. I mean, I want everybody to succeed. I want the city of Villa Rica to do well, and I don't know if I'm self-funding my campaign, if that's what you would call it. I think you would. Like I said, there's no agenda with me. Personally, I want what's best for the city. And I think that, and I've been pretty vocal about that, and I think that's resonated well with the people of Villa Rica.
Well, what's best for the city? Say you have an idea, but Ward 3 constituents have a different idea. Perhaps you have a proposal coming up that you have to vote to approve or decline. And after talking to the people involved with it, you're excited about it. You're thinking it's a good thing, but maybe constituents send you a letter and say, hey, we don't like this. Please don't support it. Would it be more important to you to go ahead and vote what you believe is right, or is it more important to accept that?
It's not what I believe is right. It's what the people of Villa Rica believe is right, and me being humble enough to realize, hey, maybe what I think isn't the best decision, and I got enough people in the majority thinking something else is the better decision. I have no problem taking a step back and saying, okay, maybe I am not correct in what I think is right, and what everybody else is thinking is correct.
It's been pointed out by many people who are running for office or in office here locally that being a council person is not a full-time position. It's considered a part-time job. There is pay that comes with that. But constituents may not accept that when they need to get in touch with you over something they're concerned about. They're thinking, all right, well, it's 4:00 and this is bugging me now. So I need to contact my councilman to take care of this right now. How much time can you commit to this position and all that it may require?
My office hours are 10 till about 12:30, 12:45, 3 to 5:30. So anytime I'm really not seeing patients, I have no problem talking with anybody. I have no problem hearing somebody's opinion. And if I don't know the answer, I'll get the correct counsel. I will research. I will find an answer.
How would you communicate with your constituents? You going to put your phone number out there, website, Facebook, town halls?
That's a good question. I guess it's not hard to get my phone number. I'm sure my office number's out there if someone really wants to get in touch with me. They know a lot of people know where my office is in Villa Rica. So there's many ways for people to get in touch with me if they really need to.
Would you put out a newsletter like monthly, or reach out to constituents? Let them know if a big vote is coming up. Because we hear all the time, residents see something going on. It's like, well, I had no idea that was happening. And hey, I mean, they have the responsibility of finding that out. All that information is available on cities' websites, and I think we do a darn good job reporting of things that are happening before they do happening. So I think there's plenty of opportunities for people to find things out. But that is one of the common concerns. When you ask them what's your issue, it's like, well, I had no idea that was happening. I mean, would you make that extra effort to put out a newsletter or something like that?
I think Gil does a good job right now keeping the people of Villa Rica updated on what's going on. I don't think... I don't know. I don't know if that's a job that is... I think that's the mayor's job, to keep the people updated. But then it is the job for the council people to read that newsletter and to stay updated, so if someone does have a question, they can answer it and be knowledgeable about the situation.
All right, Philip Butch is our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. He's one of two candidates running for that vacant Ward 3 seat on City Council in the city of Villa Rica. I would suspect that after that race, November, that they would try to swear whoever the new council person is in at that point, by mid-November, rather than wait until the new year, just so that seat isn't vacant. That's my guess, but we'll find out. Time right now is 8:43. Again, my guest is Philip Butch. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post those to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and we'll all share them on the program. Take our first break right now. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
The Entrepreneur Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined curriculum-based track to acquire essential knowledge and skills for success in business and leadership. Critical areas include identifying entrepreneurial characteristics, selecting a value position, and business model development. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
.844, welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. Thanks to those of you watching our program this morning on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Some people have already checked in. Chase Mayfield says, "Hey, Phil Butch." Holly Staten says, go vote Phil. Chase again says, Phil is the best vote for Phil. Oh, he didn't use any punctuation. Phil is the best vote for Phil. So I think it's Phil is the best vote for Phil. Carissa Jacqueline says, Philip, applaud Butch. Deborah Redmond says, dude. And Christy Brandenburg gives all thumbs up. So thanks to you guys for posting and letting us know you're watching this morning with our guest again, Philip Butch, one of two candidates running for that Ward 3 seat in the city of Villa Rica. Housing in Villa Rica, Would you put requirements, minimum requirements, maximum requirements on future projects? As I guess as an effort to control the growth.
No, I don't think so. As long as it's controlled and the infrastructure can handle it, I don't think there should be a minimum or maximum. As long as the correct steps are in place for the growth.
So you'd be open to more apartments, more apartment buildings, multi-family housing.
We have a lot. We have a lot right now, a lot being built. So putting that on hold until we get this infrastructure situation under control, I think wouldn't be a bad idea. But that's something I would have to talk with the other council members and the mayor, whoever that may be, and some people and the people of Villa Rica to see what they want and what they think is best.
Conversation I had with a candidate for Carrollton City Council yesterday. We talked about the housing a little bit, and it bantered about a little idea, and I went and looked it up online to see if it actually exists. But state legislators, if they had the option to approve and make it available for cities to put a cap on the price of rentals, that would have to go through the legislature. They would have to approve that and give the cities the option for that. But if that is available to Villa Rica, would you, vote in favor of renters? Put a cap on property at $2,200, but of course you're sticking it to the people who own that property that can't raise their the prices. Would you be in favor of anything like that?
Oh wow, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well, I mean, and it came. We were talking yesterday, and I was thinking about New York City because there's people paying minuscule money just because they've got family members who owned the property 50 years ago. I mean, they're paying some real tiny prices, and I was just like, if we're complaining about not having enough housing here, and the housing is so expensive, I just thought, hey, maybe that's an idea. So we did some research on it yesterday, and that's how it would have to be approved by state legislators. It's not. I don't believe there's any bills out there at this point, but as an effort to keep prices down so people could afford housing.
I think the rental market. I think the entire housing market is borderline out of control. I think there's 3-bed, 2-bath houses
for $2.5 million, and then the potty's in the back.
It's expensive, and then the interest rates on those mortgages. I'm not a one to see the future, but I don't know how it's sustainable. And then the rental prices of those 3-bed, 2-baths, $2,000, $2,200, $2,500 bucks. Mm-hmm. With the price of, I mean, we're getting into
weeds there. I just giving you a topic just to think about. I mean, and it may never, nobody's pushing legislators to do that. But
and with those mortgage prices and the rental prices, then you've been grocery shopping recently. Mm-hmm. It's wild, but that's a whole other conversation. That's something that.
Yeah, I buy a lot of cheese, so yeah, that's definitely expensive. Hey, Temple and the city of Villa Rica, they are kind of the gateways. People driving on I-20, say they go work in Alabama or whatever. People driving on I-20, Villa Rica and Temple could be their only introduction to Carroll County. Do you believe that, I guess you're thinking about tourism and things, do you think that those areas are attractive enough that give people a good opinion of Carroll County? Give them a good Carroll County vibe? Or do you think there are things that could be improved off the
downtown Villa Rica could be one of the most attractive places, not only in Carroll County, but in West Georgia. And we just need to give the downtown area some love, some care, a little bit of money, and take care of those businesses so it attracts more businesses. I think downtown Villa Rica could be one of the most attractive places, and I've said that for 8 years. Ever since I moved here, I said this is the cutest downtown and could be phenomenal. It could have more foot traffic, people moving to Villa Rica. It could be a golf cart community if it wanted to be.
I've got an issue I'll bring up about that.
I don't know. I'm more of a vision guy, and I really see the downtown Villa Rica area could be a phenomenal place to be.
Do you have confidence something, your image could happen in 5 years, 10 years?
I think 5 years isn't out of the question.
Yeah.
As long as we take the right steps and grow it smart and controlled, because you have that railroad track right in the middle of it, which puts a wrinkle into that, and it scares. I think it scares some business owners.
Sure,
but we need to take care of the business owners that are there now, and grow on that.
Time right now is 8:50. We're going to take our final break and come back and continue our program with Phil Butch, one of two candidates running for that vacant Ward 3 seat on Villa Rica City Council. Community Voices brought to you by Tanner Health System and Oak Mountain Academy.
Oak Mountain Academy is an innovative school of academic excellence celebrating over 61 years. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to join us on the mountain to see our mission and vision in action. Academic excellence, a faith-based environment, and dynamic opportunities are just a few of the reasons our families choose Oak Mountain Academy. Academic scholarships and tuition assistance are available. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
8:52. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest this morning is Philip Butch. He's a chiropractor out of Villa Rica. He wants to be the Ward 3 councilman in the City of Gold. Let me try and get a couple more questions in here before we wrap up this program. City of Villa Rica Police Department was recently under fire after a Facebook post of theirs from their Facebook page showed the image of a black male was used for target practice during a class that was offered to the public. Do you think the city's response to that was appropriate? Because I've heard from numerous people that officers, a lot of the officers who were, I don't say a lot, but several officers I was made aware of that did not feel that they were backed up and supported after that incident happened. They felt that they were kind of thrown under the bus, so to speak. They didn't appreciate the narrative, but they did say they felt more supported by the actual community. But I think some of them said they expressed they're frustrated by the response from the city itself. How much of that are you aware of? And do you think the city did the right thing and actually did have their back, or did the appropriate thing, I guess?
I was a little behind on finding this out, only because I don't have social media.
You should get votes just for that.
I have.
But you don't have social media.
I have Twitter, X, but I use it for inspirational purposes, self-help purposes. I enjoy the stock market sometimes, so I do my research. I don't know if Twitter is the best place to find research.
Did you invest in the Braves baseball team?
I think the Braves, I love.
But did you invest as far as the stock market? Did you buy stock in the Braves?
No, I did not. I know you're not a big fan.
Yeah. Well, I did buy a share.
Did you?
Yeah, just for S&G. But
I did nothing with the Braves. But the question about, I just found out about a couple weeks ago, and that was a tough situation, I think, for everybody, and handling that appropriately is difficult, and it was an unfortunate situation, and that happened. I don't think it's my place to say who was right and who was wrong, but I think supporting the police department and how they went about handling it after the fact, I think they did a pretty good job.
We got about 5 minutes left in the program. I'll get this one more question. Well, I probably got enough questions to get us through. Otherwise, I would take a peek. Hopefully, you're aware of this situation. There's an old school neighborhood that's scheduled to be affected with a plan that the city will make a connector from Mirror Lake down into downtown. Right. It'll be, it's kind of being hyped up as a shortcut so that Mirror Lake residents can drive their golf carts into town. Get more traffic down there. However, there's the possibility that it's going to affect several homes. Homes will have to be demolished in that neighborhood, and it is a majority, if not 100%, minority neighborhood that's being affected. That's going to be wiped out to do this. A lot of residents came out and spoke at a city council meeting. I want to say about a month and a half ago. It's been suggested that they'll be paid for. Billy Rica will try and give them the proper money to sacrifice their house there. But again, I don't think it's a good look. Just thinking about the residents there. But eminent domain is what it could end up being. Well, would you support that project? Because you could be asked to vote for it. I mean, that could be one of the first things you vote for in November is this project as a whole that would have this little bit affected. These residents don't want to go. Are you in favor of eminent domain?
Is it the cut through downtown by the police station?
I don't know. It's Darden Street is what's going to be affected. Those are the residents that spoke out the most.
I'd have to get all the details and see exactly how many people are going to be affected, who's affected. It's just not something I can answer at this point, only because I'm so new to this. Yeah. I haven't researched that specific question at all. I didn't even know that was a thing at this point. I knew about the couple roundabouts that are coming in, the bypass off of 101 to Mirror Lake Boulevard, which is already in the process of happening. As for the eminent domain, I'd have to look at all the details. That's not something that's very. It's not a black or white question. There's a lot of gray in that.
Well, let's end on some good notes here. What's your favorite thing about the city of Villa Rica? What the best attribute that the city offers?
I love downtown.
Yeah,
that's why I live so close. I lived in the city of Atlanta for 5 years. I moved out here 2 years ago to get closer to my office. The commute was getting old.
Yeah,
and the commute got old quickly. Once COVID calmed down and all the traffic came back, my commute went from it was out of control. Anyway, and I really want to be close to the most downtown area because I think there's so much potential.
How about your mentors in life? Who have they generally been? I mean, who are your idols, your heroes? Who would you look to? Who could you go to ask for advice or direction on things?
That's a no-brainer. That's my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's I'm where I'm at today because of him and making me the best version of myself and pushing me to do the things I've done. I've always overachieved, I think, and maybe because of his way of pushing me to be better and do better. So definitely my dad.
Well, hopefully he'll tune into this, when you share it later on, and you'll choke him up, and he'll be all misty all day today.
Maybe.
Philip, it was good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How would people, if they're watching the show and they maybe want you to elaborate on something or just want to talk to you before your campaign, are you doing door to door? How can they get in touch with you?
I'm not doing much door to door. I think that's a little abrasive, but I guess I could. I know quite a few people in town, so I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. A lot of people know where my office is, and a lot of people have my phone number, and my office phone number is out there for anybody that wants to talk. But getting through Carissa is the toughest part. She's my office manager, so to get through her to get to me. But
so that's the Carissa that commented.
That is
all
Carissa.
Right. Well, Phil, again, it was good to meet you and good to have you come down here and good luck with that campaign.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching and listening to this morning's Community Voice program. Tomorrow is Friday, right? Yeah. We have Hailey Miller scheduled for that program. She's running for City Council in Temple. Yes, it's the same Hailey Miller. She had served, I believe, for 8 years, and then she stepped down because her family moved out of the district. Now she's running for this other district. And I look forward to talking to her on tomorrow's program. So if you tune in at 8:30. News Talk 1330 FM 106.3.